That you got only genetics. Yeah. It's been put up to all.
All right, freeze. Raise your hand. Tell me what we did to help you remember information about sex-linked traits or the chromosomes of sex chromosomes. Brianna.
The blue and pink strips.
The blue and pink strips. What were labeled on the blue and pink strips? Jaleel. What was labeled? What was the X labeled? Or what color was the X? Pink. What color was the Y, obviously? What was the difference between the two, despite the color, Brandon?
The one was larger.
Well, which one? X was larger. Did that help you kind of remember when we were holding up to see who had what?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Then now moving on here, the types of sex-linked genetic traits. What I mean by this is these are the types of diseases or the types of things that actually are sex-linked. Prior to this, we talked about genes that are linked to what? This is going back on your notes. We talked about genes that are linked where? Huh? We did not. Prior to talking about sex-linked. Which chromosomes are your sex chromosomes? Which set?
Oh.
The last one.
Your last two.
Oh.
Which is sex what?
23.
23, the 23rd set. So prior to this, Simon, move. I'm not going to have this with you two.
Wait, it says.
So which traits have we been talking about thus far? Where have they been linked?
Autosomal.
Autosomal, which is what sex?
The first one.
The first 22. So what does that mean? That those traits are not directly linked to your X or Y chromosome. They can't be linked to the Y. They're not linked to your X chromosomes. They're linked to all of the other chromosomes. What type of traits were those?
Like your characteristics.
Your characteristics, like?
The hair.
Your hair.
The personality.
Your personality.
Eye color.
Eye color. I need to hear more. All of you know this. You made babies. What else? Skin complexion. What else? Hair texture. So stop talking for 1 second. So when you made your babies, you were making your babies all of the way they look, not who they are, boy or girl, but the way they look. And those looks, all of that came off of which chromosomes again, everybody? The first 22. What are those called? I do not see it. Which ones were they? Autosomal. Very good. So then after that, now we're talking about the traits that are only linked to which set of chromosomes?
The last set.
The last two, which is the, what number is that? The 23rd set. Now looking at that 23rd set, those are the sex chromosomes. So these are the sex linked. These are the types of traits that are only linked to that set. Got it so far? Okay. So then, with that being discussed, we're going to talk about this disease, which is hemophilia. Everybody say hemophilia.
Hemophilia.
This is when an individual can't cut. They can't stop bleeding. They would be considered a hemophiliac. Now, where have you heard the word philo or phila? Philo or phila? Hydrophilic. What does that mean?
Like water.
Light. It comes from the Latin word philo. So maybe in your left-hand side, you might want to put philos. It comes from Latin, which means love. So what do you think hemophilia means? Love. This is not water.
You like to bleed.
It's a love of blood. And that doesn't mean that person that is hemophiliac means that they love blood. This just means, notice, they can't stop bleeding. So blood is going to continuously be present if they get cut, if they get pinched with a safety pin or a sewing needle. Even if you bump into something and you get a bruise. What is a bruise?
When you turn black,
Yeah, but it's a what? It's a blood clot, and it's clotted underneath your skin. So what happens is, when you bump yourself and you get a bruise, the skin underneath your skin is broken. And then that blood is pooling underneath your skin. Alright? And so the top layer of your skin, which is called the epidermis, if that's not cut, then that skin can't come out. You heal. After a bruise, it heals. That's like a scabbing underneath your skin. The bruise starts to heal, then it goes away. But if a person is hemophiliac, what do you think is going to happen? The top layer is not going to tear, but they're going to continue to bleed underneath. That blood, that bruise is not going to heal because that's blood underneath. So that can be very deadly for them. How many of you ever used a safety pin or a sewing needle and you prick yourself? Or you prick yourself on a rose thorn? Pretty common to you. It happens, put your finger in your mouth, you're like, oh, no big deal, right? What about for a hemophiliac? It could be a big deal, so they have to take medicine for this. So anyway, hemophilia is when an individual cannot clot. They can't stop bleeding. So therefore, this is a sex-linked, a sex recessive. And what that means is the dominant trait is someone who's normal. And not normal, I don't say normal meaning like the other person's abnormal. Just means that this person, if you have this trait, the dominant H, you have the blood clotting protein, which means that if you cut yourself, you are going to heal. All right? So this is a non-hemophiliac trait. This says non-hemophiliac. If you have the recessive H, what does that look like? Lowercase h. Hernandez, take that hoodie off. And that jacket, because it's not stucco. This person does not have the blood clotting protein. So they have the gene for hemophilia. Now, looking at your notes that we took before we left for break, and looking at this information that I just given you, talk to your partner that's sitting next to you, and if there's 3 people at the table, all of you take a chance, and talk about maybe what a female with normal clotting would look like.
Oh, yeah.
This weekend, can you come here?
But and that's not necessarily something that has to close up and maybe before, but close up. But this is clotting. But it would be nice. All right. So now let's look here. Before we talk about it, we put this here. Explain to me, not this answer yet, but explain to me how the traits of a sex-linked trait look different from an autosomal trait. So the question is again, explain to me what the difference or how the difference of a sex-linked trait looks from an autosomal trait. So that's what you should have been talking about, what that would look like. Only Rogerlyn? All right, help us out.
But it would be like only the X can have like
But how would it look?
it would be a superscript.
A superscript over what?
The X.
The X. So would we have X and Y chromosomes listed?
No.
No.
Yeah, but the Y would have superscript.
Well, we have to write those chromosomes down.
Yes.
So how many letters? What's the minimum amount of letters you have for a sex-linked trait?
4.
Minimum.
2.
What'd you say? 3. Because what if you have a Y chromosome?
Oh.
It's a minimum of 3. A maximum of 4. But when we talk about autosomal traits, what's the minimum and maximum letters? The traits.
Oh.
If you have brown eyes, and let's say brown is dominant, and we're using the letter B. So let's say you have brown eyes. What is your trait going to look like if you have brown eyes? What is your gene pair going to look like, your genotype? Or, okay, dominant B, or dominant B, recessive B, correct? How many gene types do you have? Letters. How many letters?
4.
Nope, not because this can be you. 2. Or this can be you. It's not all of them. However, when we talk about sex-linked, remember, when you picked up those things, you either had 2 pink X's if you were a female, or you had a pink and a blue. But you also picked up something else. What was it? A trait. Which means that in order to show sex link, you must show the sex and then the linked trait. So far, so good. Nope, because brown eyes is autosomal. That's the first 22. The sex linked, this is not linked to the sex. Anybody can have brown eyes. These traits can be passed from the mom or the dad. Sex linked means that these traits are only linked to that 23rd chromosome, not the 22. So brown eyes are not going to be determined by the 23rd pair of chromosomes. Get out of her pocket. All right? So that's why when we talk about the characteristics like brown eyes, we're only using these. But when we talk about sex-linked traits to identify if they're sex-linked, we have to list what the person is first. Female, what's the trait, the chromosomes for female? XX. Gentlemen, grow up. But we have not yet told about the trait. This is just the sex. Now, the trait we're talking about is hemophilia. This person is normal clotting. Subscript dominant H. Superscript dominant H, and it has to have another superscript dominant H. So what this tells us is, number one, it's a female because we see 2 of the X's, right?
Yeah.
Number 2, now we're looking at the trait that's linked to this female. She's not hemophiliac because she carries the non-hemophiliac trait on each of her sex chromosomes. Okay? What about a female that's hemophilia?
Okay, XX, and then subscript dominant.
The sub means below.
Super.
So this is like an exponent.
Exponent H, dominant H, and then exponent recessive H.
Recessive H. So she carries it. Everyone see that? Jenny, you good? I want to make sure everybody's face is clear. If you look confused, please let me know because this will show up. We all good? All right, so what about a female that actually has hemophilia? Brandon. XX? Recessive H, because remember we said, in order for the female to have it, she has to have the trait on both of her genes. She can be a carrier, or she can have it, or she doesn't have to have it at all. What about, talk with your group right now, not me, talk to your partner, and talk about what a male with normal clotting would look like and a male with hemophilia would look like.
Yeah.
10 more seconds.
So who wants to say hybrid though?
Come on now. Anastasia, tell me what your group talked about for a male with normal clotting. It's a male. I want you all to take the same process so that you don't get confused. Once you write down what it is, whether it's a female or a male, think about what we did with those little pink cards, pink and yellow, and think about what we did with the trait. What color was the trait? Pink, which means that it only can be linked to the pink, the girl, the X chromosome. Not that it can only be linked to the girl, it only can be linked to the trait that is representative of that. So, therefore, we listed the fact that it's a male with normal clotting. You said? What kind of H? Capital? Simon said it's not capital. Huh? Does this represent dominant H? Okay. So does this represent a male that has it or doesn't have it? Doesn't have it. Why didn't I do like this?
Because the Y is too small to carry.
The Y is too small to carry it. So therefore, it can't have that. This is the fact it has the blood clotting protein, so it's not hemophilia.
So technically, if the trait is only paired with the X chromosome, there will only be one chromosome for male.
There's only going to be one trait linked because they only have one chromosome that can carry it.
True.
Okay? Yashana, tell me what a male with hemophilia would look like. XY first, very good. Where? Where's it going, the X or the Y? Well, don't say it like, duh, Ms. Wiggins. I'm seeing if you know. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yes. Why didn't I do this?
Why is small?
The Y is too, say it like Tyler, too small. Too small. When she has one try her shoes on, I'm like, come try your shoes on. Oh, too small. Like it's not. All right, so we good with that? All right, so now let's look down here, and it says draw a Punnett Square, illustrating the possibility of offspring between a man who has clotting and a woman who is heterogeneous for hemophilia. Right now, what I need you to write is I need you to go ahead and list female and list her genotype, and the male that's being discussed here and list his genotype. Do that now before we move forward. Hold on one second. I need you to do this first. Drika, tell me what the female is here.
X, dominant H.
What's the rule I told you I want you to follow? Draw the, or write the
X,
sex chromosomes first. XX.
dominant H.
Let her work. So it says a woman who has heterozygous for hemophilia.
No, on the other one, too. On the other one.
You could put another one next to this one.
No.
The X's, think about it, the X's only carry one trait. Now, this is review of a vocabulary word. What does heterozygous mean?
It's two of the same.
It's different.
Hetero is same?
It's
Different.
Hetero is different. Different traits. Correct?
Yes.
So therefore, are these two different traits?
Yeah.
Yes. So is this correct? So instead of saying heterozygous, we could have also said a woman who is a carrier for hemophilia. Huh?
Homo means same.
Homo means same. All right. For a male, Jenny.
XY,
Everybody pay attention so you make sure you have this.
and then you have dominant H.
Dominant H. So this says between a man who has normal clotting. So dominant H. Anything else?
No.
No, the Y doesn't get anything. So far we're good, right?
Yeah.
So now we need to draw our Punnett Square. What's our Punnett Square look like again? A box.
A box.
So it's a 4-square box, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's put the female here, and let's put the male here. All right? So therefore, the first thing we need to do, and I want to make this box a little bit better, is we list it just like we did with any other Punnett Square when we did autosomal. So here we have the female X and X, but that's not it. We also have to link what? The traits. Those have to be there. Those can't go away. For the male, we need to do the same thing, but we have to make sure we put those traits. Now, everywhere we put these traits, these chromosomes, the traits have to be there. So this first box would be what? XX, dominant H, dominant H. This is the instance where when you write it, I want you to write it all together. Do not just write the sex. So here, this is an XX so that you don't forget it. And we brought down this XH so that you don't forget it. So far, so good. All right. Lotte, I need you to sit on the other side so I see your face facing this way. You don't need to keep turning your head back because you're up next. So let's go. What's over here? Lotte, I need you to sit over there so your face is already turned around. What's over here?
Yeah, dominant X.
They're all X with what?
Isn't it? Yeah, dominant and then recessive.
Tell me what I'm writing. Troy, face this way. Dominant H.
And recessive.
Next to it?
No, on the other X.
You didn't tell me to write an X.
I said write two X's.
Then you're not listening because I said when you write it, you have to write it exactly with what it looks like first. Because what will happen is if you don't, you'll forget that trait and then it'll be totally wrong. So please follow my lead. I've seen people do it wrong several times because of that. All right, looking here. Keelan.
X. Dominant H. Just a Y.
Why did Keelan give me the X first and not the Y?
Because X always comes first. Cause that's
Thank you, Brandon. You are brilliant at throwing your voice all around. X goes first because X always goes first. And you have that dominant H there, and notice he told me that in order. Moving over here, Ahmad. What goes here? X. What type of H? Lowercase, very good. Recessive. And Y, awesome. Are we done with this question, though?
No.
No, because it also says what? We labeled the mom and dad already. Here to here. Identify the percentage of offspring. So, let's look at boys. How many boys what's the percentage of having a boy? 50%. Percentage, Troy. What's the percentage of having a girl? 50%. Remember, this is why we flipped the coin when we made our babies. 50-50. All right? But, what's the percentage of having a boy with hemophilia?
25%.
What's the trait? How would their genotype look if they had hemophilia?
It would be XY.
You need to tell me immediately that don't list that X and that Y by itself. You have to tell me if something blinks it or not.
X dominant H and then X dominant H and then Y.
Wrong.
X recessive Y.
X recessive H. Remember, dominant. This is a recessive trait. So that would be this one here. What's that percentage? 25%. So the 25% chance they'll have a boy that is hemophiliac. What's the percent chance boy without or normal? Let's just say normal boy. 25%. What's the chance of having a girl with hemophilia?
0.
It's a 0% chance. None of these girls have recessive X, recessive H, recessive H. They can be a carrier. So, what's the percent of having a girl carrier? 25%. But none of the girls will ever have hemophilia.
Simon said 100%.
No, not these are both girls, Simon. One could be a carrier, one is not. Now, what would be a way that they would actually produce a girl that would have a carrier? If the dad had,
Recessive.
the dad wouldn't be recessive, but what would he be though? He can't be a carrier. If the dad has it, don't say dominant though, because it's a recessive gene. Whoever said it. If the dad has hemophilia and the mom was a carrier, that's the only way they would possibly produce a girl that is hemophilia. All right? See, and this covers our whole possibility of who's more likely to have the trait. The boy. Because he only has one gene that can be affected. Right now, what I want you to do is look at the other side. And we're going to talk about that, and then you're going to work through that with your group by yourself. So on the other side, these are all sex-linked traits. Here, this is color blindness. That is sex-linked, which means that it is only linked to the X chromosomes on the 23rd pair. Could everybody see this? It would be so crazy that I use this because it's a color that is linked to color blindness. Everybody see this?
Wait, so you would rather run anything or
It would be white blotches.
Black and white.
No, that's not true. Color blindness are linked to certain colors. Yeah. It's not that they can't see every color. Oranges and greens, that's a certain type. Blues and reds is another type. Hold on, Keelan is asking me a question. He may be soft-spoken, but he's still talking. Keelan.
Our doctor once said that males are more likely to have red green color.
Yes, males are more likely to be colorblind because remember, you only have that one trait. That is true, Keelan. Keelan said he went to the doctors and he said the doctor said that males are more likely to have red-blue color blindness because it's either red-blue or green-orange. Those are the two types. But yeah, males are more likely. Now that you know that, explain to me why males are more likely again. Brandon, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
You only have one gene or one trait, one gene that could carry that trait. Very good. So color blindness is the inability to distinguish certain colors. That's why I said certain and not all colors. This is also sex-linked recessive. What does that mean when I say sex-linked recessive? It's not going to be a dominant trait. So the letter that's associated with it is going to look like what? Lowercase. So for this one, we're going to use a B instead of a C because it's hard to see if it's a large C or a small c. With that being said, guys, it is very important that when you're doing this, you're using regular writing, not cursive, not your manuscript writing, because this, I don't care how big you write it, is not a lowercase. It's not a capital. It's always a lowercase a. A capital A looks like this. And I can even write it like this, and it's still a capital A. Do you understand? That is very important when it comes to this. All right. So for normal vision, what will the trait look like?
Dominant A.
I'm using a B.
Oh, dominant B.
Dominant B. For somebody who is colorblind, what will it look like? Recessive B. Right now, what I want you to do with your table, or even on your own if you can, but use your table to help you. I want you to complete the females and the males. You have about 2 minutes. Piggyback off of what we just did. Just, you don't have to move your seat to converse and do it. Get back on the other side. Thumbs down if you're not finished. Okay. I said thumbs down if you're not finished, Brandon. Hernandez, come up and give us the female normal vision. Kennard, you be ready to give us the female carrier for color blindness. Troy, you be ready to give us the female with color blindness. Brandon, you be prepared to give us the male with normal vision. And Victoria, you be prepared to give us the male with color blind. Hold on one second. Give Kennard the marker. Anybody disagree? Thumbs down if you disagree with what Hernandez put. And put your shoulders like this if you don't really know. If you're confused. Do like Tyler. All right, good. All right, stop 1 second. Troy, don't write anything yet. Female carrier. Thumbs up if you agree. He has X. He has X dominant B, X recessive B. Keelan, are you sure? Sure? Okay, good. All right, Troy, with color blindness. It's okay, write it and then move out the way. I like the way that you guys are first writing the actual sex of the person. Does anybody disagree? Thumbs down. Everybody agrees? Thumbs up? Very good. Lowercase y?
Oh, chill.
Disagree, thumbs down. Agree, thumbs up. Why didn't he put a B on the Y? It's too small. Thumbs down, disagree. Thumbs up, agree. Why she didn't put a little b on the Y? But the little b is small. Preguntas, questions. Everybody good with this? All right. So let's right now I want you to take 30 seconds, talk to your group about what you understand, and ask any questions about what you don't understand. Go. All right, freeze. Now what I want you to do, on your own, no group help, do this and be prepared for me to call on you. I'm giving you 3 minutes. No talking, no living things, that's what I'm talking. But you can set your own laws. I'm not writing this, this is for you. Some people have more. Make sure you're following all of the directions that it's telling you to follow, not skip anything. Jenny, take this pink marker, go up and list the mom. And I just want you to list the mom. I want you to label the mommy. And use the top so we have that bottom space. It's like I did when I did male, mom and dad, female, male. Rihanna, come up and list the dad. On the left side of the mom. Yes. Like a fan. A little while. Okay, let me have it. So it says between a colorblind male and a female carrier. Vernon, is your man colorblind?
No.
Is your dad colorblind?
Yes.
No?
No, he's not.
But it says between a colorblind man.
It's your
But can you be quiet, Troy? Because I didn't call on you. Vernon, is this male colorblind? But the instructions say possible offspring between a colorblind man. So come fix this. And for a female carrier for color blindness. Is this a carrier, Jenny?
Yes.
Why? It's heterogeneous. Why? What does that mean?
It means
Two different traits, which means that she carries the trait, right? All right, so here's our Punnett Square. Remember we normally label, you don't really have to, but just if I was giving you the Punnett Square and I needed you to know where to put everything, but you normally don't have to label. So if we're doing the female, we'll put her here. Everybody should have already completed their Punnett Square. Drink is scary, come up and complete our Punnett Square. Give you the hardest thing because I'm not really fond of you. Come on, Drink is scary. Come on down, quick, faster. Go this way. Because I got a lot of stuff over here.
that's a 400.
Very good. Or is it? Move down one, 80s baby. Thumbs down if you disagree. Are you sure? Thumbs up if you agree. Troy, what's wrong?
The second box, the first box to the last is supposed to be recessive B.
First box to the last. Which box was that? The top right or left or bottom right?
The bottom left.
The bottom left. This is wrong?
Yeah.
Why?
Yes, it is.
Troy, stop trying to just be different. The only X that can go in this box is this X here. That X has a dominant B. This is not a lowercase b.
Never mind.
All right. So what's the percentage of this family having any children that is colorblind? So we're looking at colorblind child. What's the percentage?
50.
50%?
Yes.
So this little girl could be colorblind or this little boy. So it's a 50% chance. Which means it's a 50% chance of their children not being colorblind. Any questions for that?
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
You know how people feed
feet are smaller or not? Yes.
Is that the like the first thing to
No, because the size of your feet are not sex linked. That's autosomal traits.
That's why I said first.
Yes, I'm sorry. I think you said first link to. All right. Let's then move on. What I need you to do right now is I need you to go ahead and take your sheet. What are we doing? Yeah, take your sheet that is your line paper. Because we're going to take a couple pieces of notes for that. But before we do that, we do have a short video that we are going to watch.